Hey guys, welcome back to Living Big in a Prius. Happy 2019. I am here in Bals, Arizona at the Women's Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. I'm so excited to be here. There are 1,000 awesome women here. I'm here with my new friend Joni from the Galavan. She's going to tell us about her story and kind of how she got into van life, and then we'll take a little tour around her van.
Hi everyone. My story's a little bit different than most people as far as how I started or why I'm here. My cousin came to a family reunion 6 or 7 years ago in a Sprinter that was all fitted out by Sportsmobile, and I fell in love. I thought it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. When my kids were younger, I had wanted to start RVing and go on the road, and because we were already unschoolers anyway, and so it made sense to go travel around, but my then 13-year-old was just not at all interested. So we bought a house in Corvallis, Oregon instead, and so I had this dream in my back, in the back mind of, getting on the road and going and seeing stuff, going and seeing those national parks and all of the beautiful parts of the country. So I put it on my vision board, and I always knew I wanted a Sprinter. I wasn't one of those that was trying to figure out what RV to get. I wanted a Sprinter, and it became very apparent very quickly that I wanted a custom Sprinter. I bought an empty cargo van Sprinter, and I designed it, and it actually took me a bit to find a builder. That was probably the hardest part on building it, was to find someone to build it for me. And I ended up meeting a tiny house builder in Eugene, Oregon, and he was excited about the project, and so he built out my Sprinter, and he found an amazing systems guy for me who used to work for Marathon Coach. And that's Trevor, and now Trevor and I have a van build company because so many people they think what they want my van, which once I start to consult with them, they realize that they don't want exactly the way mine is, but similar.
Exactly.
And so I design vans, and Trevor and another builder from who also worked for Marathon Coach, Jeff, build out the designs that I make.
That's awesome. So how long have you been full-timing?
I have been full-time since August 24th, 2017. Yeah.
And how are you liking it so far?
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine not doing this. I have met the most amazing people. A year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I attended my first Escapers convergence here in Quartzsite, Arizona, and met people who I've been caravanning with pretty much ever since. Just really, really wonderful people. And really, I feel closer to them than I feel to my family.
Wow.
It's just amazing. The connection that you have with other nomads, especially full-time nomads, is really amazing.
Yeah, that's really the connection that I'm craving, and over and over again as I talk to people, they all say the same thing. At gatherings like these, they feel that sense of camaraderie and community, and you just make lifelong friends doing this lifestyle, so it's amazing. So how'd you get started with YouTube?
That was a total fluke. I was at Jamie Diamond's van build party in 2017. Jamie is Enigmatic Nomadics. He has a very large channel. And I met a man named Seven Gray. His channel is Seven Wanders the World. And I was just hanging out with him. He invited me to go into Lake Havasu City to the Planet Fitness to grab a shower. And so I was hanging out with him, kind of following him around for a day, and saw how he was filming. And I'd never wandered around with someone who was filming for a day, and I liked his style of filming. It was very simple. And then because I had internet and he didn't, he came to my van to edit and upload his video, and so he kind of taught me how to edit as well. And And then I left the van build party and went to a national park, and I'm like, maybe I'll try this YouTube thing. That seemed really fun. And so I did my first video, not really knowing a whole lot. I just filmed it on my phone. I didn't have a selfie stick or anything. I was just totally handheld, smartphone. And came back to the van build party, and Seven helped me edit my own video, and I put it up, and it doesn't suck.
Nice.
And then I was at the last night, my last night of the van build party. I was at the dance. Jamie has this big campfire with loud dance music. And so I was at the dance, dancing around on Jamie's schoolie, and he asked me if I had a YouTube channel. And I said, well, yes, I started it yesterday. And luckily Seven was right on my shoulder and said, and it's good. And so Jamie invited me to be the guest vlogger the next day. And so I did that next morning, and interviewed Jamie on how the van build started, and got that filmed and edited that morning before I had to leave for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And and then I just kept going because it's fun.
YouTube is fun, and documenting your travels is fun, and bringing it to more people who might be interested in this kind of lifestyle, and that's all part of the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for a trip, and how do you feel? How do you make yourself feel safe on the road?
Okay. Well, I don't do trips. I live in a van, so I always have my home with me, so I don't ever have to pack. That's actually one of the best things about living in a van, is that you never have to pack for anything. Awesome. I had to fly to Mexico last year for my niece's wedding, and it was the first time I'd had to pack since I moved into the van, and what a pain in the neck. I had to, I get almost packing anxiety now because, and it's not really anxiety, but, I just get this like, oh my gosh, what do I need to pack? Because I'm so used to having everything I own with me all the time. Right. Like when I go to a national park, I'm in the parking lot and I can just go change clothes, and I am prepared for everything always. But how you get to that point, I guess, might be more helpful, right? Like, how do you get to where you have everything you need with you all the time? I was really fortunate. I was able to move into my van very methodically. So I had it parked in my driveway, and I moved into the van, like I moved my bed into the van, and the things that I knew I absolutely needed that I use every day. And then I lived in it in my driveway for like 2 months. And when I needed something, then I'd go in the house and get it and find a place for it.
That works. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because one of the things that I see a lot of women doing is overpacking. They think they need everything that they've had in a house, and that's just not true.
Right.
But you do need all 4 seasons of clothing, even if you're chasing the 70-degree weather. You need to be prepared for every kind of weather, no matter where you plan on being. You don't need as much kitchen stuff as you think you do. And especially like people who are following you are interested in even smaller living than I do. And, you only need a plate or 2, a couple of forks, a couple of spoons, a couple of knives, a really good chef's knife, and a really good paring knife. I mean, one thing to cook in. I have a pot and a nice antique cast iron pan.
Oh, nice.
And then I cook mostly in an Instant Pot.
Nice. Yeah, I have currently in my Prius, you were talking about figuring out everything that you need. Literally, I packed my entire Prius in the last 2 hours of 2018 because I spent most of the day making my window coverings. But I had already made my list of everything that I knew I was going to need. And for the kitchen stuff, I just brought 2 of everything. So I have 2 bowls, 2 plates, 2 forks, 2 spoons, 2 knives, and 1 sharp knife. I don't even think it's too two butter knives. It's one butter knife and one sharp knife.
Right.
You know, and I have one mug, and I have like a travel mug. So if someone were to come over, I could, you know, entertain in a little bit. And as for pots, I have one small pot and I have one big pot, and either one of them could be used for, you know, boiling water, you know, to making soups, and there's so much you can make on the road.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that you're ready to entertain if someone comes over. But one thing to know is you don't have to be prepared to entertain. And I'm not talking about, not talking to you specifically, but just in general, because I see so many women going, well, but I need sets of 4 of everything in case people come over. But when you're on the road and you're living this nomadic lifestyle, the other people you're meeting are also living this nomadic lifestyle, and they're used to bringing their own plate and their own spoon and their own bowl and whatever it is. In fact, when I cook for friends, when I tell them that it's ready and it's time to come over for meal, I tell them what to bring. Like, okay, bring a bowl and a spoon, or bring a plate and a fork, or whatever. So
that makes a lot of sense, and I've started seeing that here at the campfires, you know, and with people are offering coffee or food, you know, it's just kind of expected and just kind of known already that, like, oh, bring your chair, bring your bowl, bring your mug, whatever, and like I didn't even have to ask. I just thought, like, oh yeah, I should do that. Right. You just kind of fall into it and fall into a rhythm when you're surrounded by so many people who live that lifestyle, and yeah, it's so much different for me. Like, having done a year's worth of research on this and just watching YouTube videos constantly, watching it and living it are very different, and you start to notice it's the little things. It's the little things that you notice that aren't really covered in videos too much, or are so small or so custom to the individual that you're not really going to understand exactly what you need and the order of operations, you know, whether it's your nighttime routine or where you should drive to before you go to your final spot for the night. You know, all those little things you kind of just figure out as you go along, and I've learned a lot just in the past 3 days, and in driving here to the WRTR and in talking with these wonderful people.
So specifically, what are some things that you were surprised to learn once you got here that you hadn't learned from studying?
What's the best way to, like, I guess, wash dishes and changing clothes? I still am figuring that out. How to change clothes
when you can't
in the
stand
car,
up.
when you can't stand up, and yeah, and I kind of get in theory how I should be doing it, but I'm not doing it yet. I'm doing it the hard way. So eventually I'll figure that out, and I thought I was going to be really good about washing dishes, like right after I eat, you know, wash the dish, but there's been so much going on here, I kind of feel like I need to go to the next thing, or there's this thing at this time, and so I just end up putting it in my sink, and it doesn't get washed until like the next day. So there's that, and yeah, like the first night I probably learned a lot, just driving from Atlanta, and my first stop was in Louisiana. Like, I didn't think to, like, go to the bathroom, you know, but, like, before I picked my final spot for the night, and I had gone to the bathroom like 3 hours before in a completely different state, and wasn't thinking, oh, I should do that somewhere else first before I, you know, do my final stop. And so realized that when I got there, and learned it, and didn't do that the next night. And then I figured out, like, okay, before my final stop, I need to use the restroom, fill up my water. Filling up the water, you do so often when you're traveling on the road, because you don't want to use the water that you brought with you. So I was constantly filling up my water bottles. Every chance you get, every time you stop, if there's a water fountain there or a tap, you know, fountain drinks, you know, water is free. So don't be afraid to fill up your water bottles. So yeah, just constantly doing that. And in this case, I have just a regular cooler that requires ice. So any chance I got, I would replenish the ice as well. And so you just kind of have all those things in the back of your mind that you need to do before you go to your final stop for the night.
Yeah. I always take an opportunity to use a real bathroom if there's a real bathroom before I go to my van.
Yeah.
Whether I feel like I need to go or not. It's like you don't pass up a real bathroom.
Exactly. And showers too.
Actually, I don't shower very often at all.
No,
Yeah.
Do you do the gym membership thing?
I do
or?
not. I thought I was going to. So that's one of those things where I was researching and I thought that I was going to use a gym membership, and I haven't. I haven't needed it. I actually have a shower off the back that I've used twice. And I knew when I put that in that I probably wasn't going to use it much, but it wasn't very expensive to install. But what I've found for me is that it's super easy for me to just wash my hair in my sink, and I bathe every day with a washcloth, a little bit of water and a little bit of soap. And so I never feel grungy or dirty or gross.
Yeah, sponge baths. A lot of people take sponge
Yeah.
baths.
Yeah, it's surprising. I was one of those people, I don't drink coffee or anything, and when I lived in a sticks and bricks, I looked at my morning shower as my my coffee substitute, right? But I don't need it, and I don't even go seek out showers. I hate paying for showers.
Yeah.
My favorite way to get a shower on the road is to go to a local community center that has a swimming pool, and then go get a workout, get a swim. I'm past menopause, and one of the weird side effects of menopause is spontaneous frozen shoulder. A lot of women get that, and they don't know that it's related to menopause.
Oh.
And swimming is actually the best way to prevent and to help with frozen shoulder.
Oh. Wow.
So whenever I can, I get a swim and then a shower. Well, actually a swim shower, because you have to shower before you go in the
Right.
pool.
Okay. Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, I've never heard anybody do it that way. So that's really cool. What would you say to anybody, and maybe even specifically women who are considering this lifestyle?
If you're a very independent woman, go for it. If you are sitting home clutching your pearls and really afraid, probably not the lifestyle for you.
Yeah, because it's not for everybody.
It is not for everyone.
But if you're craving freedom and adventure, and or you're just kind of tired of the grind, you know, it might be something to look into. It's a lot easier to get into this lifestyle than a lot of people think, and a lot of the things that kind of hold a lot of people back, once you get into this lifestyle, you find that those things, you know, weren't really that big of a deal at all, or you found some sort of workaround. Thank you so much for joining us on this tour. This is the Galavan. Go check out her channel and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks. Enjoy your journey.